Hello, thanks for joining me, I hope you're well. Now, I'm back at Potteries Motorcycles, where they've been foolish enough to allow me to ride the new Royal Enfield shotgun. So, welcome back, and let's go for a ride. Today, I'm on the Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. Now, I've just picked the bike up at the dealership. Had a little ride before I've switched the camera on so that I can just get a little bit of a feel for it, and I thought now's the time to pull up and share my first thoughts with you. So come with me on a little ride, and bear in mind this is a first sort of ride out. This is what you'd get on a test ride, which is most of us do when we're considering buying a bike, I think, although I've bought many bikes without a test ride, just on the look and a gut feeling. But I think we all probably agree that if you get the opportunity to do a test ride, it does make more sense, doesn't it? It's a lot of money at the end of the day. And so they've allowed me out on this bike, and let me tell you, I'll get rolling, and as we're going along the road, I'll tell you my first thoughts. Okay, so just a little bit of background. As some of you that are watching this will be aware, but probably many won't, I am the owner of a Royal Enfield Classic 350. My little putt-putts that are tootled around the lanes. I call it tickling around the lanes in North Staffordshire and the Derbyshire Peak District, doing a few little vlogs like this. And I love it to bits. My little Royal Enfield Classic 350, I think, punches way above its weight and is absolutely, it's a great little bike. People, if you watch the previous vids, you'll see that you'll soon see what I think of that. Now, this one. So I've come up here and I've jumped on it. My very first thoughts, these are the very first thoughts going through my mind. Now, when I first saw one of these, I wasn't, to be honest, I thought it looked a bit strange. I'll just shut that visor so you can hear me. I thought it looked a little bit of a concoction, like it didn't quite know what it was. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just taken a little bit of time to get used to how it looks. But the more I've seen of it, and I've seen it in the flesh a few times now, the more it's grown on me. And it really has, it's been a grower. And yeah, it's been a grower, and now I'm at the point where I looked at it when the lad wheeled it out for me and put it on the car park, and I thought, you know, that is a pretty looking thing. And it appears to be Royal Enfield are just going from bound to bound. They just get better and better and better. Now, I'm going to take it steady. It's only done 37 miles. It's not my motorcycle. They're good enough to lend it me, so I've got to go reasonably steady, but I can still get a quick feel for it and tell you probably the same sort of stuff that you'd realise on a test drive. Test drive? Test ride. Shotgun 650. So, he wheeled it out to the showroom, and I thought, that is a pretty thing, you know. Royal Enfield, they seem to be upping the game every bike they bring out. I rode the Himalayan not long ago, and that was just the same. I swung my leg over, and I thought, wow, this is low. Now, I think the seat height, I'll tell you the specs in a little while, but the seat height is something like 785 or something. Now, I'm not sure if that's lower than my Classic 350, but it certainly seems it. So it's like a standard configuration, this. So the placement of the foot pegs and the handlebars and where your seat, where your bottom is really nice. You know, I could imagine you're doing a lot of miles on it. Now, the first time I sat on it, I thought it's got like a two-piece seat. And I thought, oh, this is a bit hard. Certainly harder than my Classic 350. It's a firmer, but we all know that means that it could actually be more comfortable on a long trip. It's sort of counterintuitive, isn't it? You think a soft seat when you first get in it is going to be comfy, but you soon, you know, sink through that, don't you, when you've done 100 miles and you're sitting on the frame tubes. So this seat initially feels firm, and I mean, I've only done about 5 miles now, but it's already, you can feel it's comfy. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. So there's no issue with the seat. Now, so sitting position's great, the triangle's great. The actual look of the bike, it's grown on me. And in front of me, I've got the offset speedo. Now we've got an analog speedo, and in the middle of that is a digital display. I've got a fuel gauge on there, I've got the time on there, I've got a gear indicator on there, and I've got the trip meter and odometer on there, which I can cycle through, so I can go from trip A to trip B to odometer on the button on the left hand side of me left hand switch gear, so I can scroll through them. Now the actual clock is displayed all the time, unlike my classic 350 where that's on me, you know, that's on the button on the left hand side. I have to bring the clock up to see what it's doing. So I thought the seat was firm, and I thought it felt relatively low. I'm 6 foot tall and so easy to touch the ground. It seems almost easier than on my classic. It seems lower down than my classic. So I pressed the starter button and it burbled into life. Pull the clutch in, light clutch, adjustable lever incidentally, adjustable levers, and off we went to this Burble 650cc twin engine. Now I've owned this engine before a few years ago in an Interceptor 650, and it's lovely. It's a great engine. It's got more than enough power for most uses. I can't see, you know, unless you want to go racing on it, or, you know, I think it's a lovely engine. And let's face it, Royal Enfield are quite rightly making the most of this engine, because they've released, as they have with the J series engine, with the Classic and the Meteor and the, you know, they are. Look at that little speed bump popped up. It was just, that's how flickable it is. You know, you'd think that for you know, a portly bike, but it's quite, yeah, it's lovely. Anyway, back to where were we? What's he doing here? What's he doing here? I don't know. Right, so the 650 engine, we've got the Interceptor, which is what I had. We've got the Continental GT, and we've got the Super Meteor. Now I think this is linked, although the engine's the same. Obviously they're all brothers, and they're all, you know, and they're making the most, and they're trying to do a bike for every niche almost, aren't they? They're certainly making the most of this 650 engine. And you know, I think, and I haven't ridden the Super Meteor, I'll see if I can get that next possibly, I'll have a word with them, but I think this is probably my favourite. I had an Interceptor, I didn't find it very comfortable, to be honest with you. I didn't find the seat very comfortable after, you know, once I'd done 50 miles I was in agony, but that could be me. Other people have said that, no, it's fine, you know, because we're all different, aren't we? So don't take what I say as gospel, because it isn't. It's just my view, it's my opinion for a bloke, for me. And people are very different. And that's why it's important to, I think, you know, I don't think we're daft enough to be swayed and go on a bike, you know, go and buy a bike on a YouTube review, are we? Hopefully we're not. But it's just somebody else's opinion, and I guess when we're buying these things, I watch them as well, but you have to make your own opinion. What's right for you won't be right for somebody else. So another thing that I noticed early on was the power. Now, I've banged on about how 20 brake horsepower on the Classic is enough, and it is enough. It depends what you want it for, it is enough. But having had big bikes and gone down the scale, if you like, to just having my little Classic now, and now I've jumped on this and it's got considerably more power, but not a threatening amount of power, not a ludicrous amount of power. I can notice the difference, and I am impressed, and I'm already having thoughts of, oh, perhaps you should have bought one of these, Keith. But I hope my Classic 350 isn't listening, but the extra power that you've got from this is noticeable straight away. You've got a nice burbling twin-cylinder engine. It pulls from down low. It sounds a treat. It's a stocky bike. It's a stocky bike. Other things that I noticed straight away, right? So comfortable. Right, the mirrors. I've got to be brutally honest. For me, I am a big lad. I'm probably wider than most, but I can't see much out my mirrors. Now I know you can adjust them, but I've tried, and my mirrors, if I bought this, I mean it's easily resolved, isn't it? You can have bar ends on, that'd give me a view, but these mirrors, I can't see massive amounts. I can't get the angle right. So it would need, for me, if I went out and bought this, I'd either need bar ends, or I'd need extenders, or a different set of mirrors possibly. So just onto things that I quickly. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the mirrors, to be honest. Oh, what about this back brake? What about the brakes? The front brake is lovely. The back brake, I had a dab on the back brake, and my ABS kicked in. I thought, woohoo! So the back, I'm not saying it's fierce, maybe it's just me, it's a learning curve, isn't it? Getting used to the bike, seeing, getting used to all these little idiosyncrasies, but wow, what a back brake this has got on it. The first 2 times I plonked it, and I'm not going ludicrous, I wasn't going stupid, but I hit it, and I got the, and I thought, whoa, what's going on here? So I've got to be a bit steadier with this back brake. It's certainly going to pull you up, but yeah, I wasn't really prepared for that. So that's the back brake. Another thing that it's not that I don't like it. Oh, I tell you what, Potteries will never lend me bike again, will they? But for me, personally, I'd have loved it if they'd have, that Himalayan, if they'd have put that Speedo up front and centre. That'd have been brilliant on this, because it's got the trippy, but to be honest, I don't know how that works. It just looks a bit strange, this. What do you think? With the Speedo offset and then the trippy. I mean, how often would you use the trippy? Maybe people will say, yeah, it's brilliant, I use it all the time, what's up with you? Get one, then you'll know. And you're right, I would know if I got one. But just my first impressions, and that's what this is, a first impressions video, is I'd have preferred one central clock akin to the Himalayan, because that's fantastic. But just looking around, so my mirrors could do with being a bit wider, and don't get me wrong, all the information's there for you in this clock. All the information, and you have got I guess it's like a rudimentary sat-nav if you need it. I mean, how often let's be honest with ourselves, how often do we use a sat-nav on a bike? Let's be honest, when was the last time you used one? I mean, I probably know people who use a sat-nav, well, no I don't. I mean, how often do you use a sat-nav on a bike? I don't know. But the console itself is great. All the information you need is there, no scrolling through menus, everything you need on a daily basis is there at your disposal without doing anything. And the general feel of the bike, the build quality, because this one, as you're probably aware, it's all blacked out. So it's all blacked out. Let's go up this lane and we'll have a walk round. Little walk up in the there's some horses coming there, I don't know what them. Right, let's have a change of plan and go down the park. But first impressions of this is, I tell you what my first impressions are, you're going to love this. I tell you what, the salesman at Potteries are going to love hearing this, but and my missus is going to love hearing this, is I should have had this instead of the Classic. maybe in 12 months time, I don't know. But no, this is a lovely bike to ride, and I do like the styling. It's you know, I think it's like you got to get used to it. It's the custom taste. So right, let's go back to it. We've got a firm seat, comfy seat, a bit firm, nice seating position, nice triangle going on. It's a nice quality thing. It's, you know, it's these bikes. You know, these bikes, they sort of stir emotions in us, don't they? And if you're happy, I've talked about miles for smiles before, about how it's not about the spec sheet, it's about what makes you happy, doesn't it? Somebody said to me, it's what you put in the garage and you look back at it as you shut the garage door. Instead of, oh, that was a pothole, instead of just slam the garage door shut and walk in and have your sandwiches. This is one of them that I'd look back at in the garage. There's no doubt about that. Oh, now my mirror's just folded in. My mirror's just coming on me. So that one's tightening up, doesn't it? But still, that's another thing. Hey, I'll just sog that up. That's neither here nor there. Okay, so here we are. Royal Enfield Shotgun 650. 2024. 4-stroke twin. Oh, excuse me. 4-stroke twin. Air and oil cooled twin. 46 brake horsepower. 240 kilos. 39 pound-foot of torque at 7,250 revs, which I've been nowhere near because it's new and it's still running in. The price ranges from £6,700 to £6,900 in the UK. It comes in 4 colours: stencil white, green drill, plasma blue, which must be what we've got here, plasma blue, and sheet metal grey. It shares lots with its cousins, the Interceptor 650, the Super Meteor, and the Continental GT. And rumour has it we've got a classic coming out, but it's like whatever flavour you prefer. The seat, if you look at the styling on the back, it's a 2-piece seat. Now this seat will come off, I believe, with that key there to reveal a luggage rack. In fact, let's have a go. Let's just take that off and have a look at it. Now it's a bit difficult one-handed, but let's try. Let's see what's under here. Wow, well, hey, how difficult was that? That's one-handed. There's your luggage rack. How fantastic is that? What a great idea. And then we're just going to pop it back on. Oh, that was simplicity itself. I'm sorry if I moved the camera off, but that was simplicity itself. So that comes off to reveal a luggage rack, or you could take the entire the subframe that holds the seat, this bit of sturdy chunk of metal, to reveal a single seat like a bobby with a cut off mudguard, which is lovely. It's all blacked out. Now let me get my notes back. Okay, so differs from a few notes I made before I came out. Differs from the Super Meteor, which it probably mostly has in common. It's most in common with the Super Meteor, I guess. Different size wheels. We've got upside down Showa forks, which are wonderful. 43mm. Showa rears as well. Showa rear shocks. They're currently on the hardest setting. Seat tyres. Don't know if these are tubeless. Are these tubeless tyres? I don't know. Don't forget we've got a main stand on this, and that's wonderful, isn't it? Do you know, I'm looking, but I can't see if they're tubeless. Yeah, it says they're tubeless. So we've got tubeless tyres. You'd expect that on alloy rims, I know. So that's good. Different steering geometry to the Super Meteor, which gives it its own flavour, if you like. And I like this flavour. I like this flavour very, very much. I love the fact it's all metal. I love this nod to the classics. This headlight nacelle and the front mud guards. I love the chopped off rear mud guard. Just a pretty bike. Just a pretty bike. We've got a front single disc. And yeah, baby Brembos by Bree brakes, perfectly up to the job, really, really nice. And the rear one, well, that's a monster of a brake. That's a lovely, lovely thing, that is. Twin piston caliper, very powerful. Very powerful. Rear brake particularly. I think it's a pretty thing. Lots of little detail things. Lots of little detail things. I mean, look at that back light. Look at that back light. Look how they've done the seat, that rear seat. The switch gear. It's lovely. Look at these. Look at the handlebar grips. Look at the detail on that. Even on the switches. Royal Enfield since 1901. It's a lovely thing. The headlight nacelle, I just touched on it earlier. I do like that. It's a sort of modern nod to Enfields of the past. It's got a main stand on it, which is wonderful. One thing that is worth mentioning is that it does require, apparently, it requires 3,000 mile service intervals, which, that's a bit of a pain, isn't it? But it is what it is. And all the lighting's LED. So I hope that's given you a little bit of a walk round, a little bit of a flavour. Look at the detail here. Look at the detail in the headlight. Wonderful. Bits of detail all over the place. Oh, look at that. Look at the splashes on the front of the engine. I've covered this on my Classic. I wonder if you can get a sump guard. I don't know. The engine cases are in this black, shiny black, like enamel, like, I don't know if that's powder coated or what, but really pretty thing. I tell you what, that might be just a slight, I'd as soon have had that in just blacked out, but that's just me. Maybe you like it, don't know. And the blacked enamel rocker cover, really nice. Right, let's jump back on and we'll go for a ride. You know, I hope you enjoyed that little walk around. Difficult when you're holding it in one hand and looking at notes and looking at the bike, but I hope I can get most of the things over. You've probably gathered already how much I like this bike. I really do. It's a lovely bike. Lots of little detail touches. Royal Enfield have upped the game again, and I could live with this easily. And I've changed my mirrors, or get longer mirrors, or just extenders that do that. I couldn't put my heel and toe changer because there's a pretty hefty alloy bracket on here that holds the foot pegs on. Now, I'm not moaning about that, it looks really well made, but I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't be able to get your heel and toe on that. Now, that wouldn't bother a lot of people, but I just like my heel and toe shifter on my Classic. That's just me, just a personal thing. Would it stop me buying this? Of course it wouldn't. No. This is lovely. This is grand. So that's a little walk around with some basic specs, but like I said, more important than that is, you know what you can do, what you need to do, listen to me, Uncle Keith, is, if you can, these dealers, you know, I mean, I went to Potteries, they're my local dealer, so that makes sense. And they're really friendly, they're good, you know, but what I'm saying is, wherever you are, if you're in the Potteries, if you're in our area, come up here, have a word with them, and you can ride this bike, see what you think. It's smashing. There isn't much not to like. You know, I mean, what have I come up with this? What don't I like? I don't like the mirrors. I like Somer Road ahead closed. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Right, well, we can't go that way, so I'm going to have to go this way. This is a smashing bike, yeah. So what don't I like? Nothing on this is a deal breaker. Nothing at all. Nothing. It's a fantastic little bike. I'd as sooner had one single big clock like the Himalayans in front of me. But just personal preference, and that's because I like the Himalayan one so much. But there's nothing wrong with this that we've got here. The mirrors could do with being a bit wider for me. Now I'm guessing, just looking at them here now, I'm guessing that the regulations probably stipulate that they can't stick out further than the handlebars. Is that right? Does anybody know? Because that's how it appears. They're as wide as the handlebars, so they probably couldn't go any further. But the geometry of it and the seating position and this is wonderful. This is wonderful. I don't know what I'm going to tell my missus when I go back, and she says, "Where's your chrome bronze gone? What's that funny bike in the garage?" I'll say, "Well, you know, they've done a job on me, haven't they? Again, they've done it again." Taking my money out of it. I can't afford it, and they took it off me again. I don't know. No, get yourself a test drive. Don't listen to me gushing on, because I gush on about Honda Express. I really would. That's what I'm like. Yeah, there ain't much going on in my helmet, I can assure you. So don't take my word for it. Have a ride of it. If it's the sort of thing you're interested, go up, see him at Potteries, tell him I sent you. Tell him I sent you. And you'd go out on this. You'd love it. If you live further afield, go to your local Royal Enfield dealer. See if they've got one. Because you wouldn't be disappointed. It's a smashing piece of kit. Okay, so a little tickle up the A50 now, take the bike back. Okay, so there you have it. Royal Enfield shotgun. If you're in the market for something like this, get yourself a test ride, and I think you'll love it. Okay, so what I've done is I've brought you this way, just taking a tiny detour, because I want to show this bike to my mate, and he'll tell you what he thinks. You may have heard of this fella. He was very famous because when England, I don't know if anybody's aware, but I am a Stoke City supporter. There we go, there's the mighty Potters, although they're not so mighty just at the moment. Well, there's a fella here, and what he does, I don't know if you like motorbikes or not, but let's just tickle up here. Perfect. There you are. Now there's Gordon. Now Gordon was the goalkeeper in the 1966 World Cup. Nice bloke as well, really nice fella, ambassador for Stoke City Football Club. Hope you can see him there. What do you think of this, Gordon? Hey? Oh, there you are, there he is, he's holding the wheel. He says, if you bought one of these, you wouldn't score an own goal. So there you are, you've had it off the man himself now. He likes it. Alright, I'll see you soon, take care. Okay, so here we are, home sweet home. Thank you very much for allowing me to ride this bike, Potteries Motorcycles. It's been somewhat of a revelation. It's a lovely bike, and Royal Enfield deserve a pat on the back for producing this. And thank you so much once again for allowing me to ride it. If you're interested at all in any of these, or the Royal Enfield range, or the KTM or Kawasaki's, come and have a look at Potteries Motorcycles and organise a test ride for yourself. You'll find them smashing. Thank you. Thanks, mate. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, it's better than my... I wish I'd rather that before I had my classic, but still.